How do you think it's harder for Black Americans to obtain voter ID?
Well, it's a class issue, and because of systemic racism, it's usually people of color, so Black Americans, who are at the bottom of the socioeconomic classes, which means that they will have the most trouble like having to pay to go get voter ID laws or voter IDs.
You motherfuckers racist as hell. Why the fuck wouldn't black people have that? What's the difference between us and you?
I actually think that it's comedy watching these donuts try their hardest not to sound racist and they end up sounding more racist. Do they all just think that black people have some sort of handicap or special needs? It's 2024, not 1824.
Welcome back to ChickfilA. It's your host, Red. We got a video today from Morocco TV. When delusional woke people get owned 8. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
There was another tweet that said, the Democratic Party is comprised of racist white liberals.
That is correct.
Am I a racist white liberal?
Well, let's go back and let's say, I will say this, that many people in the party are not aware of their own racism. Let's go back to an early part of this conversation where you said to me, are you concerned about the color in the White House? Why would you ask me that question?
Because you speak about black issues.
No, but why would you ask me? But let's get to really the nucleus of this. Why did you ask me that question today?
Because I'm
why did you feel that I needed to be
perspective.
concerned about that?
Because you're bringing a whole group of young African American leaders to the White House.
Okay, so this is something that I talk about often, is that in many ways white liberals don't realize that you put on that the racism and the conversations that we have.
So you're saying I'm a racist?
You haven't let me finish my statement. You keep cutting me off.
Go ahead.
Okay, the emphasis that you place is always on having a discussion about race. Okay, you guys are insistent on having a conversation about race and telling us that we should see and implying that we should see race everywhere, and I don't agree with that. If you don't look at me according to the color of my skin, you would simply ask me how I thought that Trump was doing as a president. But instead, you try to drum up a conversation that's surrounded by race by asking me, are there enough black people in the White House?
You're bringing a whole group of young black leaders to the White House.
You see color, I don't.
She's too smart for you.
Now, I don't know who said it, but I like it. It says, if we want racial equality, then race has to become an uninteresting thing about people.
Flashback.
Black History Month you find
Ridiculous.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Why are you destroying private property? That's not cool. You just can't take down other people's ideas because you disagree with the idea of it. If your guys' ideas are so fragile they can never be challenged without you ripping down that, I think that says more about your ideas than his.
She has a point.
Yes. Posters aren't supposed to be on the lampposts because you need to have permission to place them.
Like how your flyer is on the pole?
Strike 2!
So the only free speech that's allowed to happen is yours. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to interact with you. If you want interaction, that's not going to happen. But you won't come and ask him a question. You go put up the flyers. Come on.
Just so you can tear them down again?
Yep! There's still plenty up, aren't there?
We're not taking down your flyers. We're not covering up your flyers. I don't know why you feel the need to take ours down.
It's called double standard.
You want to call us fascists. You want to say that we're horrible people because we have different viewpoints than you, but you're the ones taking down the flag.
It's facts! It's facts! Is it not facts? These facts are not facts.
My name is Horace, and I'm a red-tailed hawk.
Are you sure about that?
In our world, I do have the body of a hawk, but while fronting, I consider myself a Therian, because I am in a human body, but my identity is still a hawk. I am doing my best to come to terms with living in a human body.
What?
Someone said I thought hawks had perfect eyesight.
Would you self-identify as a socialist? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
What would be a country you think works well that's a socialist country?
There are no socialist countries right now.
Has there ever been a socialist country?
Truly socialist? No.
I would say Venezuela, Cuba, those are not and were not socialist countries. I just want to make sure we complete the point. You believe in something that doesn't exist, has never existed. Socialism is always judged against an impossible utopia, and here's the truth of the matter. That markets, which you enjoy comfortably in Western society, is the most proven affluent creating machine in human history. And I would just challenge you to do one thing. Please stop believing in a utopian nightmare and start looking at things around you that are good, that are true, that are beautiful, that work, and are consistent with the natural law. You'll be a much happier person if you do that.
So she's never lived in a socialist country. She's never seen proof of it working in any other country. Yet she wants to live in a socialist country.
Like I said, guys, I came from a communist country. I was born there. I was raised there from 0 to 5, and I came to this country. I don't remember too much, but I do have some memories. But I have stories of how it was when it was communist socialism. It wasn't great.
Makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Vegans are going to kill humanity. If you personally don't want to eat something with a face, good on you. I don't care, but you have to have the animals there or you will not have the carbon in the soil. You can kiss humanity goodbye. As I said, vegans are going to kill humanity.
At this event, are you consuming meat?
Yes, grass-fed beef jerky.
I read a paper from the University of Oxford in 2017 called Grazed and Confused. Are you familiar?
Totally, I am familiar. It's really wrong.
Why?
They cherry-picked statistics to prove the vegan Nazi point of view.
It acknowledges that even though certain grazing management systems can sequester carbon, this only amounts to around 20 to 60% of the emissions the animals produce in the first place.
That's simply not true.
I read some data that showed that if the US just ate grass-fed meat, that country would need 2.5 times more land.
That's assuming that you leave current corn production in corn production, current soy production in soy production.
It's not assuming that, it's taking into account that. If we shifted the system to grass-fed...
If you took the entire US, land as grass, not counting cities and roads.
There's not enough land.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is.
Yeah, it's a fucking lie. I used to work in export, and guess what that I export? I exported hay. I exported alfalfa, Sudan, all of the grass that we feed to cows. I sent it to Japan. Japan was one of our biggest customers. We sent them a lot. We sent all of our Kobe, like all of the Kobe beef, ate our hay because my company was one of like the top export companies for hay. And we did it for China. We did it for all these other countries. There's plenty of land in the stupid United States to do it. Why? Because we're selling all of our grass anyways.
To eat the same amount of meat.
Yes. Actually, we need to be eating more meat. Again, just it's not the cow, it's the how.
Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars!
As his comment says, rule number 1, don't debate a farmer on farming. And someone else said she was my professor in grad school. She lives on a ranch and has extensive knowledge on this subject. She's the one that pointed me towards the Savoury Institute and Roddale Institute, which could probably support her claims in this clip.
Eating Chick-fil-A in front of vegans.
Anyone want some chicken nuggets?
I do like Chick-fil-A.
There's Chick-fil-A sauce too.
We're not weak animal abusers like you.
No, I love abusing animals.
Chickens are my friends. Yeah. Chickens purr like cats. I love chickens. I rescue chickens. I don't harm the most innocent and vulnerable beings.
How many chickens are out there that need to be rescued?
Pleasure, taste is not an excuse for murder and abuse. You're gonna watch this later.
It
You think
tastes
you're gonna
good.
post this? You're gonna be so embarrassed when you watch this. You're never gonna post this shit. You're never gonna post it. I would love for you to post it.
What's up with this bat? Young people.
Animal abuser, big time loser.
Heck yeah! It's a cycle of nature. That's natural. That looks like crap. That looks terrible.
That is fucking disgusting.
We're conservative teachers. We don't teach about Marxist BLM garbage. Communism sucks.
We're conservative teachers. We only hang the American flag in our classroom. Seriously, the rainbow flag is about who you like to have sex with.
Gross. We're conservative teachers. We don't treat our students differently based on the color of their skin. You get the grade you deserve.
That's right. We're conservative teachers. We don't ask our students for their pronouns.
We're conservative teachers. We say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays.
We're conservative teachers. We're not keeping any gender secrets from parents. Those are your kids, not ours.
Yeah, come pick them up.
I mean, are they conservative teachers or just normal teachers? Because when I was a kid, this was pretty normal.
Like, this is what I was like. Conservatism and I guess liberalism now is just such a battle. Now just being normal is considered a conservative now, I guess. I don't even know. I don't care for politics. Can we just not fuck with our kids?
Normal. It feels like because some people on the left are acting so crazy, it makes anybody normal seem right.
One of your functions over time has been to communicate scientific knowledge to the public.
Yeah.
And that's why I was quite surprised to hear you talk about the idea that we all exist on a spectrum where you wake up one day and you feel like you're more female and more male.
The XXXY chromosomes are insufficient because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice.
What?
Now, suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female, 20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow
I just lost all respect for this man.
I feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Why do you care? My only point was that if who you decide is male and female in the street is a construct of style and trends, what the beauty industrial complex wants you to see, if that's how we establish gender, then maybe some people want to be fluid within that gender. So they'll wear a skirt but maybe have a beard. Or
what the fuck? Oh my god. I feel like he's doing this so he can get back into TV and stuff. You gotta play a certain game to be on TV and to be, pushed out by mainstream media. And this is what you have to do. This is why my channel doesn't grow as much as channels that be pandering to women and speaking about these type of shits.
Or they'll mix and match that in whatever way
Neil,
you want.
sorry.
Hold on. I'm not, wait, I'm almost done.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
So,
okay.
If a person using the tools of the beauty industrial complex wants to mix and match this, they are expressing their freedom. Why is your job to tell them not to? If you want to restrict that, then what country we living in? Yeah, go ahead.
So first of all, I don't know a single person, and we've talked to trans people on the show. We have trans employees at Trigonometry. We've spoken to all sorts of people about this issue. I do not know a single person who wants to prevent people from dressing how they want or behaving how they want or choosing any name that they want. However, the problem is...
So you don't... But you know such people are out there.
I'm sure such people exist in the same way that there are people who believe that the earth is flat and so on. The reason the conversations become an issue is that we assign and allow certain privileges to people based on their sex. If you are female, you get to go to places that only other females are in, like changing rooms and toilets and so on. If you are female, you get to compete only with people of your sex because females are at a disadvantage in physical competition to males in almost every sport. In other words, we carve out certain areas where your sex matters tremendously, even though we may respect your right everywhere else to believe that you are whatever you are, to dress however you are, etc. So your claim that today you woke up and put lipstick on and grew your hair out long and tweezed out your mustache and whatever, and therefore you are female, has an impact on other people in certain contexts in which that is a problem.
You gave only 2 contexts. Do you have others?
Sorry, I wasn't finished. And in those contexts, it is essential, people would argue, to protect women from unfair competition and from various risks for which female-only spaces already exist. That's why people are having this conversation. Okay. It's not out of bigotry.
Do you have more than those 2 examples? And I'll address each of those in turn. But do you have more than those 2? Probably not.
Oh, yes, he does.
No, there's a third one I can give you very easily. In this country, for politics, we have female-only shortlists for positions in Parliament. Therefore,
I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Okay.
Well, that's another example. I can give you more. So, female-only shortlists, there are certain targets within corporations for diversity targets to have a certain number of women on the board. Therefore, when you make a claim that you are female, you are attempting, whether intentionally or not, to insert yourself into categories that are deliberately designed to protect women's interests. That is the concern that people have. So there's 4 examples for you there.
Gotcha, bitch!
I used to think this man was a lot more intelligent than he is. I even had him in one of these videos. But then I saw your comments, which led me to this video. And it also led me to conclude that the guy's a bit of a donor. Even if he has got a bunch of degrees and he knows a bunch of scientific facts, it doesn't change the fact that he's a bit of a donor. And science seems to go out the window when it comes to his political beliefs.
I'm not adopting your language because you don't own reality. You don't own grammar. You don't own definitions. You're not important enough to provide me with an instruction manual on how to talk to you. Are you kidding?
Damn.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
Agreed.
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which actually fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you. Look people in the eye and tell them what you've actually failed to tell them for the last 5 years. Own the accountability for your own failures as the media. And until then, I don't have a lot of patience to play the game.
I can see what he's
God
doing.
damn.
I can see it. I feel it. He's cooking.
See, they're trying to trap him by throwing in these shocking topics with the questions so they can manipulate his answer and make him sound like some terrible human being. But the thing is, a lot of them are spineless, so when you give it back to them and you challenge them back, they crumble. What a lot of these Muppets don't realise is the more they keep using these terms and buzzwords to villainise people, the less power these words have.
Should trans athletes compete against biological women?
Of course. Yeah, I think so.
Definitely think so, yes.
I don't see that big of an issue of it.
Absolutely, they're still women.
This is a very interesting topic.
I don't think so.
I think not.
I say no. I don't think it's fair biologically.
I think it's kind of an unfair game.
They are women at the end of the day. Like once they transition, they should be able to.
No.
What?
They should have their own competition only because biologically you were born male.
Let's just have a biological men v biological women's Olympics so we can shut all these Muppets up and they can see how unfair the whole thing would be. It would completely ruin women's sports.
Do you agree? At least acknowledge that sex and gender are two separate things?
That's what I was going to say. There are 0 genders, 2 sexes, and infinite personalities.
Okay.
Not only are most of these Muppets only fans girls that belong to the streets, but they're also all lacking brain cells and they all need Michael.
Get some help.
Whew, shout outs to Rocco. Like I said, maybe it's not even me turning more conservative as I grow up. I'm probably still the same, but the left has gone so left that it left me. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.